All right, everyone, welcome back to the Performance Management Podcast. I'm your host, Matrix. First off, I want to make it very clear there are two types of people in this world. There are subscribers and there are non-subscribers. So you might as well join the cool kids. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on your favorite platform of choice. It could be Apple, it could be Spotify, it could be YouTube. Whatever streaming platform you choose, make sure you like, follow, so we can always bring you weekly rants, raves, and revelations right here at PMP, hosted by Armed Performance Center. Before I introduce my next guest, again, this episode is brought to us by Armed Performance Center, Niagara's premier strength conditioning facility in the Niagara region, located on the northeast end of St. Catharines. You can see the website, www.ironperformance.ca, as well as a big shout out to our sponsor, Pete Method Photography, the premier sportsographer in the Niagara region. You can visit him at www.petemethodphotography.com. As always, guys, support local. So my next guest, we are joined by Steve Goar, co-director and coach at Niagara Athletics Volleyball Club, located right here in the Niagara region as well. So big thank you to Steve for coming on. So coach, for those who don't know you or want to know more about you, what's like the brief synopsis for everyone out there?
Well, first, thanks for having me, Matrix. I appreciate the opportunity to be on this. Brief synopsis is 2022. My wife and I sat down there and said, hey, we've got the passion for this sport, volleyball. We've been around it. I've been around it since, I guess, 97 when I started teaching and got involved in it, and said, let's take this passion and do something with it. And that was 4 years ago, and it's been busy since then, but here we are, moving forward and loving what we do and giving back in whatever ways we can to grow that sport. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
So what made you want to get into coaching volleyball? Like, why'd you pick volleyball?
I've had a passion for sports since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, you could choose between watching TV or being in the garage shooting a hockey puck, and that's what I'd be doing.
Nice. Classic Canadian,
Well, you just, whatever season came, I'd all summer long be shooting baskets in the driveway, skiing, golf, between reading a book and watching TV or being active, I'm picking active.
Yeah.
And that's where I've always been. Volleyball, I played a little bit as a kid growing up. Unfortunately, I really didn't grow much. I have a twin sister, and I remember our grade 8 grad picture. I think she was a foot taller than me. I think I was the shortest kid in my class in grade 8. Kind of switched directions in sports as life goes on and moves. Wasn't until really end of grade 11 when I grew.
Yeah.
And I took over my dad's height a little bit. But by that point, I've kind of veered away from volleyball and got into golf. Skiing, downhill skiing was a big passion. We used to go on ski trips and stuff as a family. But when I got hired in, I guess it was 97 with Marlene DeRose at DSBN school or DSBN board. She looked at me and said, hey, you tall guy in the back, you're going to start coaching volleyball. And
that's a prerequisite, eh? Like,
you tall guy.
Yeah. Go do it.
And at that point, when you're just getting into the school board, you say, yeah, tell me where and tell me when. And so I got into coaching, I guess, at 97 and just had a passion for it and met some great people along the way who kind of built the passion and grew from them. And, just love being around kids and sport and helping kids grow with their passion too, and giving whatever I can to them to help them be the athlete they can be.
Yeah.
So it's a passion that keeps you going, and I'm just glad to be doing it.
Yeah, I got you. So what do you think some of the biggest changes in the last couple of decades that you've been coaching? What are some of the biggest changes you've seen in youth volleyball since you started?
Oh gosh, biggest changes I've seen in youth volleyball.
They could be positive, negative, like whichever, like just your experience.
Yeah. I think it's a hugely growing sport. You look down the States, we were down at a tournament down in Florida in February, and there's U11 divisions in tournaments. So the need for kids wanting to actually play and the passion to play, it's there. So being active, I guess, being social, being on a team, learning the team attributes of being selfish and not putting yourself first. That's a big thing that I think kids can grow through that sport. I don't know, some of the challenges that maybe you see, and we talked prior to getting on this microphone, is some kids are tough on themselves and they want to compete and they want to win, right? And then that's part of the sport, but culture above all. is important to me as well.
Yeah.
Right? Who are you as a person as you're playing sport? And who do you want to be as a person when you're on that court?
Mhm.
You get lost sometimes in the competitive nature of it and the score and how many points you've won and lost and all that. And that's a part of it. You want to learn to compete. You want to learn to play with passion too. But I like to think that culture and who you want to be as a person is a big part of the sports, whether it's volleyball or hockey or whatever.
Mhm.
Right? And that's something I want to ensue in my athletes and help them understand who they want to be and who I can lead them to be, kind of thing too.
Yeah.
But I know that's a pretty hefty question there.
Yeah, it's loaded, eh?
The good and bad and how it's changed over time, right? There's certainly a need for kids wanting to be active, and I think the bigger thing that's coming out nowadays too, and this was mentioned by a fellow named Doug Beal that I was at his conference last weekend. He was a coach of the 1984 U.S. Olympic team,
Mhm.
and so he's been around for years. And he said a big thing challenging kids nowadays is the mental health of sport,
Mhm.
right? And the pressure of dealing with life, the competitive nature, trying to be the best they can be. That's becoming more and more of a challenge. And there's a lot of people out there, if you go to these conferences, that are supporting that and got their own ideas of how to help with that. Um, and that's a big part of sport. It's a big part of life as well.
Mhm.
So I kind of like hearing about, what we can do to help these kids, because the pressures that they're putting on themselves and the pressure maybe they're feeling from, maybe some where they want to go in the sport, maybe some scholarships and stuff. Um, Mental health is definitely a part of it. And I think it's good if we can face that and learn through sport how to deal with that. And that's a life skill that you can take off the court as well.
Now, you mentioned culture, like, as being a big thing, right?
It's a new buzzword.
It is a big
Culture.
bu it is a very big
Everybody
buzzword.
wants to talk culture. Yep.
Everyone's so, like, what does that mean? So how does one, like, facilitate culture? At least
Yeah.
how you kinda see it? Like, how do you kinda try to, facilitate a culture that kinda lines up with all those values that you mentioned?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. You got to set your values. What are your values? And you got to come back to them over and over.
Yeah.
Um, Culture, you can't really build a culture in a week and a day. You got to come back, and that's got to be something that's ingrained in the athlete, ingrained in the club itself. And um, you got to work at it, and you got to build it, and you got to have a lot of trust with that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, you got to work at it times too, right? There's going to be times when you might get lost along your way, but you have to come back to what were your values, what's your goal, and yeah, how to build that culture. It's You got to work at it, that's for sure. And there's got to be a lot of trust between, and you got to see if sometimes you got to, the athlete themselves, they have to look to see what do they want to get out of this?
Mhm.
What's their purpose and intent of being there? And if they're concerned, if they got worries about stuff, they got to express those concerns and worries. They got to advocate for themselves a little bit too, so you can work through those issues um, and the trust in order to get back to building team culture, right?
Mhm.
So culture is a big word, and it's a big part of sports and very important part of sport. And I love to kind of build that within the teams in the club that I'm a part of here. And yeah, so yeah.
Yeah. Alright. So then, through all that experience and, you said creating the culture,
Mm.
um, is there, like, a particular, let's say, any mistakes that you've made, like, really early on in your coaching career that you think made you better?
Oh, for sure. I mean, you're gonna have situations where you think this way, and sometimes you get your thoughts out there, and you realize, okay, that's not who I want to be as a person. Let's move on and go in a different direction. So yeah, you definitely learn along the way, and you grow. Um, Tough choices that you got to make it sometimes because you're trying to please a lot of people here, and you're trying to make things work. I got into this because one of the main reasons was I love the sport. I love the passion. I want to give back in whatever way I can. And you want to bring good people together who are
Yeah.
in the same venue as you. That they want to be passionate and they just want to really give back. And um, uh, you look at those opportunities as chances to grow.
Mhm.
If something doesn't go the way that you hope it would go, you reevaluate it. You look at it as a chance to grow, and what can you do different next time? And those things are going to come.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of what are you going to do with it? It's up to you to make decisions. Is how do you make the best of it? What are you going to do next time a little bit different? And how can you approach it different? And It's called experience.
Yeah.
They say that in volleyball court. If you lose, then you gain experience. Experience is what you get when you don't win.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to learn from that, if you're not going to grow from that, then you miss that opportunity.
Yeah. That
Right.
really is, I think it is a loss. If you don't learn something or like try to take some feedback from,
Yeah.
that it really is a loss. It could be win or learn versus win or lose.
I said to my U16 girls last year at one point, if you make a mistake, you're going to lose that time if you don't learn from that mistake. And time is more valuable than anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes money comes and goes with jobs or this or that, but you value your time. You want to learn from that mistake and move on. Right?
Yeah.
We talked about failure isn't fatal unless you let it be. If you can learn from it, it's just an event, nothing more, nothing less. Just move on.
Yeah.
And athletes need to hear that, and they need to hear it often, and they need to believe it themselves, right?
Yeah.
At some point, you want to step back as a coach and let the kids kind of coach themselves and fix the problem themselves, because then you trained somebody to be a true athlete.
Yeah. They have to be
Right?
autonomous. Try to build some autonomy.
Talking to a Brock coach a little while ago who talked about serving. If we're always telling these kids where to serve, how to serve, and we're taking away that aspect of them growing themselves.
Yeah.
They want to be able to sit there and figure out, where do I need to serve in this rotation to put the other team at a disadvantage and give my team a chance to score a point, right? And so they have to understand the sport and grow the sport,
Yeah.
themselves, and grow with themselves within that sport. So at the end of the season, maybe the coach is kind of invisible a little bit.
Yeah.
Give the kids an opportunity to understand the game and grow as athletes themselves. There's a new style of coaching that's coming down from southern states called eco coaching.
Hmm.
And it's very much pulling the team together during practices and saying, where are we going right now? What would make this offense look better with our team? What's lacking in our team right now? What would a top 10 team in the province look like right now in this drill? And they discuss themselves about, okay, we need to do this more. We need to do this. We need to be doing this. Okay, let's take that ownership and put it in place and play that way that, the kids kind of develop themselves.
Yeah.
And there's a club up in London that talked about it the other day too. I was talking to one of their coaches, and she's hinting about that too. She'll bring the kids in together and say, what are we doing? And what does a top 10 team look like in this drill right now?
Yeah.
And talk about it, take ownership for it, set standards for yourself, accept it, and then you're a better athlete, better person. You can grow yourself.
Yeah.
Teaching's the same. I've been involved with teaching since 96, 97. And I say to kids once in a while, the best teacher is teaching kids to teach themselves and help themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Give them some tools to be autonomous, get creative.
Yep.
Solve their own problems at some point. Like,
Yeah.
I find that with, we work with like a lot of athletes from like youth to high school, college, and pro.
Mhm.
It's crazy if you look at like how like coaches operate at the pro level, at least for certain sports, from our experience. They really just have like, hey, we brought you on to do a certain task. Like you're good at a skill that gets X amount of points on the board. The guardrails are really wide. We don't really care how you get there. You just got to find a way to get there. So it's like if your routine is to pretty much like do practice your own little way, or like kind of do different things during practice, or whatever your pregame routine is. If you don't want to go and do these things that the team is doing, but it works for you, as long as you put up like 30 points in a game, no one's going to say nothing. The creative boundaries are so wide as long as you keep doing the thing that makes you successful, right? But like that's like an earned respect versus like at the younger levels, you need some like tighter guardrails. So you kind of give them like some structure, but they slowly start to figure out creatively. And then as they grow, you just widen the guardrails a little bit. So now it's like you can get creative to solve the problem and get the outcome that you're looking for.
Yeah. I think it kind of depends on the coach, what their style of coaching is. And Dave Preston, last week I was up in Ottawa at a conference with him, and he was talking about lots of ways to do things. He's talking about his blockers. He said, I want you to front your man, and I want you to be helping out in the middle. If you can help out in the middle as our pin blockers. And, because we're at a conference with 100 coaches there, and different coaches, different philosophies too. And some coaches just go down to, hey, here's the bottom line. I want you to do this. How you get there might be up to you and up to the kid style and up to the coaching style, but this is where we need to get to. He talked about it, coaching with the end in mind.
Yeah.
Right. And you hear about that. That's a catchphrase too. You hear from time to time too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I hear you.
Well, so then, do you think today's athletes are easier or harder to coach compared to like the last 20 years?
I don't know. Either way, I love the challenge of it.
Yeah.
If it is tougher and if you want to reach, like, it takes time. to help these kids, and because every kid can be different, right? And they're
Yeah.
coming in with a lot of pressure on themselves too. I look at some of these kids we coach, man, they got jobs, they got their own life, they
Mhm.
got girlfriends, boyfriends that are in the picture too. And they're trying to make the best of school that they, where their direction is in school, and high school being 4 years, not 5. They're growing up quick.
Yeah.
Social media, the pressures of social media. So they're coming in with a lot of stuff, right? And sometimes the volleyball is their court to let it maybe go a little bit,
Yeah.
and to just love the sport that they want to grow and play. Um, so I mean, looking back 20 years ago, the athletes, yeah, maybe some difference between some of the athletes.
Mhm.
Um, but I mean, every kid's unique, and I just love the challenge of trying to help that kid wherever they are, where I think I need them to go
Yeah.
to for them to discover who they are as people, right? And help along the way. So it's a time-consuming challenge from time to time, but I do love that challenge. And if you're genuinely interested in helping these kids grow, just not as athletes, but as people, it's education. So I got into teaching there
Yeah.
back in 93 or 92 at Brock when I graduated there.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's a and they've got the parents play a big role too
Huge.
in helping these kids
Huge. Yeah.
and helping them determine who they want to be, and what life choices they want to make too,
Yeah.
and so there's a yeah, I mean the athletes, there might be some difference over time,
Yeah.
but whether there's a good difference or bad difference, it's just something I love to do, and want to help out wherever I can,
Yeah.
you know. Mhm.
Yeah. I think social media changed the game a lot. I think it like
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
it can be a very useful tool. And we've had this conversation with multiple people all the time, but it can be a very useful tool. But I think people just have to put context to it. It's like, this is just what you're seeing, like a 10-second clip or like the best version of something you're seeing.
Mhm.
So it's like, just put context to it. It's not real life. It's like, this is a moment, doesn't tell the whole story of how they even got to that moment. It's just one moment in time. I think they
Mhm.
kind of use that as like if they use it the right way, it's like, okay, this is just an educational piece of information. Maybe I can take something from it, maybe not. Maybe it gives me some context, curiosity, versus like I have to be doing that. And it's like, well, there's no simple solution to a complex problem,
Mhm.
right? So it's like to have all this like instant stuff all the time accessible. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even know how kids can focus sometimes. It's like there's just so much shit readily available, like all the time.
There is a lot of, yeah, interactions with social media, and there's so much information coming at them so fast.
Yeah,
And sometimes you need the silence just to figure out who you are in relationship to all that too, right? I don't think the kids get enough silent time of thinking time. I mean, when I'm driving in my car, and nowadays more and more, I'm turning out the radio and get lost in my thoughts,
yeah,
and just thinking about, I used to live in Niagara Falls and go to Vineland and teach in Vineland, and it gives me 20 minutes every morning and 20 minutes every night to just get lost in your thoughts.
yeah,
That's an important time for kids to discover who they are, just
yeah.
taking those thoughts and figure out with their own, you know, time, that who they want to be in relationship to all that social media stuff that comes their way.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We had like me and my fiance had dinner last night. And this actually is a topic that came up. We're trying to remember like when the internet became like a
Big?
yeah, like a
I can
thing.
kind of, yeah.
You know what I mean?
We were
Like
teaching in 96 down in North Carolina, and
yeah,
we were using it then for information,
yeah,
right? And it was probably before then. In my university days, we were doing emailed assignments too, and I was just getting into it, right?
yeah.
So,
It was for me again. I was younger, but I remember we had like an old 1996 or 97 Windows, like that big
mhm,
computer box thing with like the pinball game on it and stuff. I'm like, when the heck did we have? Because like we didn't really get no one really used that computer when I was a kid, and then like we didn't really get like a regular desktop until I was probably like 12 years old, and this was probably like what mid 2000s or something, like early 2000s, like 2002 or something. I was like fascinated by how just like small the monitor was. And then, you're in elementary
mhm,
school. So all of a sudden you go to the library, they start trying to teach you how to use a computer. I remember, they open up Internet Explorer and I was like, well, what do you do with it? Whatever you want. You're like, well, what do you want to know? I'm like, I don't know. What do you want to search up? Like first thing you search up is like stupid videos. You just
yeah.
watch something dumb on the internet. And then, then Facebook came out. I think I was in, high school or something. And you're like, okay, everyone, it used to be like MSN or everything else. And then
Mhm,
Facebook was there. And I didn't get Facebook till I was in university. I was just like, oh, okay, like everyone's on this thing now. And then
yep,
that's where it started I was like, okay, like this is always going to be a thing now. But
it will be. Yeah,
it was
it
like
will be.
it was just a weird dynamic going from like, you used to watch one show on TV on cable. You have to wait every week for that one
You
show to
got it.
come on
Next
cable.
Thursday, show comes back around.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like Monday, Tuesday, American Idol. You had like Thursday was Survivor. You had
Yeah.
like the whole series lined up. So you'd always like be
Yeah.
patient for that one week. And now it's like you
Yeah.
can just binge watch something
I
for
go before that. I remember the Cheers, the TV show
oh
Cheers, right? It was every
yeah, yeah,
Thursday
yeah,
night, and then I think 92, 93 was the last episode of that. And yeah,
yeah.
you'd wait a week for it to
It
catch
was
back on
it
Tuesday.
was good. You're like,
Yeah,
okay, I can't wait till next week. You know,
yeah.
you'd find something else to go do. And now it's like you just binge a whole season in like a weekend or something else. And you're like, well, I gotta wait like 4 months until
And
they come out with the next one.
maybe as a kid, that's why I was more active because you didn't have that access to. Hey, let's watch the next episode. It was
Yeah.
the episode's done. Shut it off. You go have dinner. After dinner, let's go outside.
Yeah. I think it was you had like you said, it was like more, I would say like I want to say simpler, but it was more just like you didn't have all this readily like dopamine stimulating stuff at your hands. It was kind of like you have to go figure out something to do.
Yeah,
You know, like you have to go get creative. And as a kid or as an adult, teenager and adolescent, you're like, okay, well, you got nothing, you got no car, you can't, the computer is like a family computer. The internet was like really, 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 really bad. And so you don't know what to do with it. You're like, okay, we're gonna go throw a football around or play baseball or just go do anything. Some
but
guys were skateboarding, whatever, but
and that's a skill that I think, um, you know, getting 8 guys together after school and playing a street hockey game,
yeah,
right? And you learn to develop those skills, and you learn to, hey, if something went wrong in the game, you could solve it yourself.
yeah,
There was no adult there solving that street hockey game. You had to figure out the teams yourself, make them fair. Something goes wrong, you got, okay, how can we problem solve so we can keep playing the game? And and that's a skill that I think kids need to be aware of too.
yeah, just the
And you
ability
need
to
to develop
play.
as coach. I want you to develop those skills of problem solving. How can we make this better? Um, it's important. Life
Yeah,
skill, athletic skill, and everything. Right? Solve the problem, work forward. School board's pushing it too.
yeah,
We get our own acronym at the school to, hey, something happens. How do we solve this problem?
hmm
Right? And the first step is take responsibility for it if you can,
yeah,
because if you do that, you got the ownership to make change.
yeah. That's
And
a
not
big one.
everybody sees that, right? You take
Yeah, yeah,
responsibility for all of it, gives you the power to make change in parts of it,
yeah. You take
right?
control of the situation.
Right.
That you can influence the outcome.
Yeah. But and sometimes kids just want to step back from it and play that victim role, which
Ah,
doesn't
yeah.
lead you to being the person who can create change. And yeah,
I think that's like an avoidance strategy. It's more of like an avoidance strategy. Like instead of like trying to navigate quote
yeah,
unquote tough things,
yeah,
it's like you think like, oh, I'm just gonna not do that. It's like, well, that's not really navigating anything. You're creating this avoidance system of navigating around
yeah.
conflicts. You never know how to navigate through it or address it or work through
Mm.
conflict in a positive way.
We got to tell these kids that they have that power to create change. It's the greatest gift we can give to these kids
Yeah.
is the power to create change and be self-sufficient. So I don't want those kids to avoid that problem. I want them to actually figure it out, try to solve it as best they can. And sometimes you can't. You gotta walk away and come back to it later, maybe. Right?
Yeah.
But you want these kids to be able to see that creative power and the ability to create change. That's huge.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I think it's a very important point. I think that's ironic because you always say that we say that message like 1,000 different ways, but I think it has to be repeated on the regular because sometimes it's like the tone of which the message is said that a kid might resonate or like make it personal or like a storytelling. Like, oh, now it kind of sinks in versus just like the buzzwords that people say we gotta work hard, take responsibility. It's like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
kids just kind of glaze over, like, yeah, ooh, like it's just like, yeah, we're gonna all that. You know what I mean? We're gonna do all that.
They don't always see it in society too. Sometimes in society,
Yeah,
people maybe do avoid it or they
yeah,
play that victim role.
yeah,
Right. And, but if people can see that power of creating change and collectively, if you can create change with more than one people, that's powerful.
yeah,
And you talked about Facebook the other day, Mark Zuckerberg, who created that. He had an idea, he took ownership for it. And, hey, let's do this.
yeah.
Where's it going to lead? Well, maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll be bad, but we've got decisions
Yeah,
to make along the way.
yeah. We'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
find out. We'll deal as it comes. You know what I mean? I think that's best. That's a good point. All right, I'll shift gears a little bit. So, like, what was the vision behind Niagara Athletics Volleyball Club?
The vision, it just kind of, like I said, it was the
That's like your
passion.
Facebook, eh?
Pardon me?
That's like your
Yeah,
that's like your
it
Facebook, eh?
really was. Yeah, it's just, it's the passion of loving the sport, of being able to work with the kids and develop them as athletes and people, and be willing to put in the work behind the scenes to make it all happen.
Yeah.
And it's been a boatload of work. I know my wife Roxanne. There's days where she's at home working 6, 8 hours a day, just behind the scenes doing stuff.
Yo, shout out Roxanne, man.
Yeah, huge. Yeah. So it's but if you have the passion for it and the love of the sport and we're lucky enough to work with these kids that want to grow as people and athletes. And so there's some gratitude there and some privilege for us to get that opportunity too. So, yeah, that's kind of the foundation principles to it. And here we are 4 years later, still working hard at it. Some bumps and stuff along the way that gives you lumps, and you learn and grow from that. But if you have that passion and you love being around kids, and it's a privilege, and let's do what we can to make it work.
Yeah.
So here we are 4 years later, still working at it, and so we're pleased.
Yeah.
And we're still doing it. So
welcome to Iron Performance Center, Niagara's home for real personal and performance training. We're a community obsessed with building durable, explosive, game-ready humans. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, just training that works. From athletes chasing scholarships, to pros chasing championships, to regular people who just want to feel strong, move well, and stay built for real life. If you're willing to work, you're our people. Our system is simple: smart programming, elite coaching, and a culture that pushes you to levels you didn't know you had. With modern technology and principles-based programming, we track your progress, teach you movement skills, and give you every tool you need to perform when it matters most in whatever arena you call home. Iron Performance Center, because performance matters.
Still doing it. So then, when you kind of had the vision to, get NAVC off the ground, what gap did you feel maybe existed in volleyball in this area that you were trying to kind of fill?
I don't know if there was really a gap. I mean, it has been a growing sport in this area for years and years. Boys to some degree. I mean, boys play hockey and flag football, and girls to a bigger extent. There's a lot of girls who actually seem to drift towards the sport of volleyball for one reason or another. Wouldn't really say a gap. I'd say an opportunity to be a part of it all.
That's a good reframing. Reframing.
Yeah. And you look in the States, it's a hugely growing sport in the States too. Somebody said there's something like 750 clubs in the States.
Massive.
It's huge. It's
massive, dude.
I know. And then within each club, there's teams within each club, and so kids want to play, kids want to be involved in sport, and it's an opportunity to find your niche and like I said, help kids discover who they are and grow within that sport. So
simple.
Yep.
So then, what do you think has been the biggest challenge of running a volleyball club?
Time.
Just the time. Eh?
Yeah. Wanting to do everything you want to do.
Yeah.
Right. And as it grows, the club grows. It's making sure you have the time to do everything you want to do. And sometimes it's so busy, you look back and go, oh gosh, we should have been doing this, and we should have approached this way.
Yeah.
Right. But sometimes having that time to reflect is not always there. And you see it in hindsight, and you go back and say, okay, let's make changes then and look forward for next year and do this next year. That's a big challenge. Sometimes making sure people are on the same page in the communication.
Yeah. I find that's a big one. I find it's a big one across anything. It's especially an organization or business or anything else like that. You're trying to empower your coaches or your people that are, on your team. And then how they might view something might be different than how you might view something, which is totally fine. You want different perspectives, not clones, but trying to kind of all row in the same direction can be a headache sometimes. It can be a headache sometimes.
Yeah. And the bottom line is, if people know you're there for good intent and good purpose, I think that helps a little bit with the communication and trust bond.
Yeah.
And hope everybody sees that in each other. And that helps a little bit too. But there'll always be, volleyball is changing. The rules always change from year to year. So there's always going to be areas to reflect back on and look and say, hey, just because you did that way for 4 years doesn't mean that's the way it's going to be next year.
Yeah.
And clubs within, from club to club, some clubs go this direction and it's the way they want to go for whatever, for defense or structure of play. And other clubs have different philosophies on it. There's some clubs that let coaches determine their defense and offensive structure from team to team to team. And there's other clubs that say, no, we want this defensive structure all the way through.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a fun challenge.
It is fun. It's a fun challenge.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to get to go home at the end of the night. Sometimes but you run a club now for 4 years. It's kind of like fun. You kind of look back and be like, man, like an idea that you had just to create something, all of a sudden it just kind of ripples out. It makes a massive impact. You kind of like sit there for a while, like, damn, like now you have X amount of people that are pumped to wear the logo and the colors and go out there, compete and do some damage. You're like, man, like that was all an idea. That was just,
It was, but you know what? There's people behind every one of those logos, and there's kids behind every one of those logos, and they're the reason I started this club.
Yeah.
Those kids, those parents. And if I can give whatever I can of myself, whatever time of myself to help these kids grow, love the sport, love who they are as people, then that's what you really want to, even though it's growing, it's getting bigger and bigger. You want to value every person you come across.
Yeah.
That's just something I want to be with me, and I want something I want to encourage these kids to be, But you talked about sometimes it's late at night, sometimes it's early in the morning.
Yeah.
It's 4:15 in the morning when you wake up and your mind's thinking volleyball,
Hey man, these are privileged problems to have, I think.
They are. And, just, in Team Ontario this summer, we're doing every week, we're supposed to do a little survey about, who are you right now mentally as a coach? How's your health? How's your nutrition? How's your hydration going? And how many hours did you spend doing volleyball this week? Training, thinking, coaching, practicing. And I've had a few weeks where it's quite an eye opener. I'm going, that's a lot of time doing volleyball, but
I think I'd be on like, someone's like, how's things going this week? Hydration is terrible. I haven't slept, but the piss is hot. I'm ready to go. I am pumped. I'm running on diesel and dynamite, baby.
You want to like, as a coach, every practice, I'm going to try to bring that energy. You talked about culture earlier, and that's not always easy. It's a challenge to make sure you've had the day and you're tired or you're busy with your thoughts and late sleep or early morning. But culture means bringing energy to that practice. And I try really hard at doing that too. And it's something that you feel good about. And I think the kids can gain that energy from you.
Yeah.
You're motivated.
It's a massive transfer.
Be motivated, and, but yeah, there's some late nights and some early mornings as being a part of it all. Which, like you said, it's a good problem to have, but it's a privilege.
It is a privilege. I've found one of my mentors always like, if there are no fires to put out, there's a problem. He's like, you want fires to be putting out. You want me running around putting out fires. There's no fires put out.
Yeah.
Something's complacent. We got to fix it.
It's pretty rare that there's no fires to put out. Like I keep a to-do list kind of thing, and it's in the car right now. There's 14 things on it. And last night we had a night off volleyball. We didn't do any training, which is pretty rare. Pretty rare.
I said, what do I do with myself? Hey? Like, what do you want to do?
I got my list out. List out and says, okay, let's start attacking this list right now. And there's still 3 things that are fresh in my mind right now. I was saying to my wife on the way here, these are 3 more problems I want to try to get to sooner rather than later. It's, but if there's ever fires that, you don't need to put out, there's no issues. I'm looking to grow.
Yeah.
I'm looking, okay, well, let's see, where can I grow? Can I listen to a podcast somewhere? Can I call up a coach? Can I, do something to help me grow as a coach, as a club director? And just what can I do to better myself, to better the kids I'm coming across? Yeah. That's fun.
It is fun. Like you might listen to something like I know I do that too. I listen to like a podcast from something, or I watch something, or I hear about something, and it just piques the curiosity.
Read.
Yeah. Read. What I mean? Like I have we have a whole library of that stuff. So reading something from whoever, it could be like, it doesn't have to be, what we do. It could be like psychology.
I agree. 100%. It does not have to be necessarily volleyball based or coaching based.
Yeah. It could. I love reading like psychology or stuff like that, or human behavior, that kind of stuff. And it kind of like, you're like, just one small thing piques the curiosity. You're like, okay, and you write it down, like, okay, I'm gonna, maybe that's something we can work on or play with or pilot and see how what does it lead to? You know what I mean? So I think there just has to be a genuine curiosity of how can this better, maybe there's a different way or a better way, or how does it, kind of enhance or reaffirm what we're doing, or maybe disregard what we're doing. You know what I mean?
We came across a passage the other day that the creative power of human thought comes down to thought, word, and deed. And they're all powerful sources of creation. So we talk about mental health with these kids. It starts with your thoughts. You have to control your thoughts. The more you think over and over again, that same positive thought, it's that same process of here's where I'm going. And then you start speaking out loud. This is where I'm growing, and you can call it meditation and new age thinking kind of thing, but it's the thought, word, deed process.
Yeah.
You think positive, you say good things, generally speaking, good things happen, you know?
It's crazy you bring that up. So we interviewed a guest. I think his episode comes out this coming Friday. A guy from Utah. His name is Bob Raybold. So he's like just turned 90. Turned 90. Like he has, I don't even know how he found us, but he wanted to just, speak his piece. And I think he did some stuff with like Utah. I don't know what their college football teams, like Utah Eats or something like that, but did some of their football team. And, he's been around the block for many decades now, right? But his whole thing was like this mindset tool, which was, I can remember it correctly. It was like, think of a goal, think of 3 benefits from you achieving that goal, and 3 things that I think are positive from the benefits, or like how that enhances your life. So it was like, okay, if you pick time management, it's like, okay, you might enhance like, hey, I can be more time for this, that, or the other thing. And how does it help me? Like I can spend more time with family. I can be, spend more time for myself. I feel value doing this. He's like, just repeat those things for like 5 minutes on end. Like repeat the goal, repeat the 3 benefits, repeat the 3 positive impacts on your life. Repeat it again and again and again. He's like, it centers your something like that. And again, I have to go back and listen to myself when it comes out. But it was just crazy how like you're talking about that. And this guy said the same thing, and he's like helped businesses and sports and athletes and all these other things. I'm like, it's crazy how like that. It sounds like very like frou-frou sometimes, like you're talking like, right. I think it's hard to wrap your head around, but like that small thing, if nothing else, it just kind of narrows the scope a little bit to kind of, bring you back to where your feet are a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Be where your feet are. It's another coaching philosophy. I say to the kids all the time, be where your feet are, be in the moment.
Yeah.
And make sure and that's, they talked about the mindfulness of it all. And that's what that is, being where your feet are, being in control of your mind and control of your thoughts, and the other power to that is the more people in tune with your thoughts, there's more power to that. So that's a team aspect of it. They call it lock in. That's what that is.
Yeah.
It's multiple people thinking, here's where we're going to go. Here's how we're going to kind of get there. Lock in as a team, because there's more power to more people who think that way. If you step back and think of, like you just talked about, there's similarities between this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy. And what you're saying is connected to what, that guy's kind of saying the same thing. And so is that guy. You'd be amazed if you're open and aware of that, of how many situations in your life where you will see those connections if you're open and aware to them.
Yeah.
Some things fall into place. If you think they fall into place for coincidence, maybe, but fate is for all thoughts everywhere.
Damn, that's deep.
Well, you talked about reading these books.
Damn.
reading these books beyond stuff. It is, it's thoughts. The power in thoughts is mindfulness, right? So you bring that to kids on the court and stuff and say, hey, this is, this is our thoughts, and here's why we got to go that way. And they need to be aware of that too. It's a big part of them being on and off the court, people they want to be. So I know.
How do they respond to that? How do young teenagers? They're probably like, "Damn, coach."
Well, it's modeling it. Here's where we're going to go as a team, and everybody's on the same page. Here's why we want to go their way, and look at how far we've come because of this.
Yeah.
And they'll start seeing those connections.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You're working with kids and athletes and inspiring them to be the people that that they are.
That was deep. That was good. I like. I'm gonna steal that.
Something for you to think about now. Make sure something to think about.
I got something about this week, and I'll be like, yo, hold up. Okay, I'll change gears a little bit. Like, what habits do great volleyball players have outside of practice? What are like maybe like the top 3 habits that you've seen like best volleyball players have outside or off the court?
The best, like, so you're talking to high performance players and stuff. Yeah. I was talking to the coach a week ago and said, the high performance kids are the kids that sees the training as something they choose to do and they want to do. Right. It's not, oh gosh, I'm missing this to go do this. They enjoy that training. They enjoy the touches they can get at home, or the touches they can get before practice starts, the 10 minutes before practice. That's one big aspect of a high performance stuff. Athlete is they enjoy doing that stuff.
Yeah.
They're resilient. A high performance athlete's resilient. Doesn't go their way. They trust themselves. They trust the process. They know, hey, it's I'm just keeping growing, and they might not even reflect back and see how far they've come, which they probably should do. As athletes, they look back to here's where I was, and all this hard work, look what I can already do, because maybe they see their growth in increments, but they don't realize how far they've come.
Yeah.
So they are resilient, that they stick to it and they keep at it. Willingness to be coachable and try new things. maybe as a high performance person.
Yeah, being open-minded.
Yeah. Because you'll get across some athletes that, I've learned this way and I do this way. Okay, well, here's a different thought. Try this way and see if it works for you.
Yeah.
Um, I like to explain the why to everything I coach the kids.
Mhm.
Every drill we do, hey, why are we doing this? I like to push it back on the kids. Hey, we're doing this defensive drill. Why are we doing it? What are we looking at for in this drill? As we talked about purpose and intent with every touch. Why are we doing this? What are we looking for this? Are we getting this out of it? Let's rank it now. What's the success rate of this drill? Are we reaching it? Why or why not? And that's Volleyball Canada coaching stuff.
Yeah.
Have a purpose for every drill, talk about the purpose, evaluate it, set a goal for it. Now you're achieving it. High performance athletes probably have all those attributes.
Yeah.
They know why they're working towards a goal. They know every touch is important.
Yeah.
Right. And they're not just going through the motions, right?
Yeah.
20 good touches is better than 100 mindless ones.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah.
Yeah. We preach the same message. It's more, here's, from our end, it's all like, you might have them do mundane things. Okay, you got to squat, you got to sprint, you got to jump. It's like, yes. It's not what we do that's going to matter. It's how we do what we're supposed to do. So it's like you said, the intention behind every rep you do. It's like, we're talking beforehand, like, hey, there's a certain speed range or velocity I'm trying to target. It's not just, hey, I did it. It's like, okay, you checked the box. It's how did you do what you're supposed to do? Can you put the intention behind, like, if I ask 10 people to do the same thing, they're all going to do it differently. Like, who has the right intent behind it? There are some people going through motions, which, you're going to lose a few that do that. Like, that happens. Some people just kind of go through emotions because it's just not their thing. So it's like, that's fine. But then manage expectations that come from that. Like, you can't have elite aspirations and make recreational decisions or part-time decisions. It's like, there has to be, elite. And not everyone can be elite. Elite means you're acting a different way. Like, you have to put intention behind something to do what most won't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The ready position in volleyball. Quote I heard the other day from University of Alberta coach who was down at the conference, who's saying, if you're serious about your ready position, then you're serious about volleyball. If you're not in the ready position in serious mode, you're not serious about volleyball. Right. And so you talked about the intent. The intent starts before the ball even hits the court.
Yeah.
And the mindfulness, you're going through the recovery phase of between points before that referee blows that whistle. Right. And that's just good training that athletes need to be aware of and they need to use. Right. As a coach, I try to take responsibility for as much as I can on the court. And if the kids are making mistakes, why are they making it? And how can I help them be better athletes? Are they training to recover from that point that they just lost to the next point?
Yeah.
What's that process look like? Or am I just clapping my hands saying, good job, good job?
They're cheerleader.
That's not working. That's not high performance. Like, what can I give these athletes so they are recovering quickly? What's their steps? What's their step one? I got to do this. Step two, I got to do this. Step three, I got to do this. Boom, I've recovered. Let's get to the next point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than good try, good point. That's not high performance.
Yeah. I think elite athletes want feedback.
They do.
I think they want good athletes want feedback.
Yeah. There is a time there when you got to step back and say, here's the feedback.
Yeah.
Go through the motions. Tell me how it feels.
Yeah.
Right. And that's, you got to give them a couple minutes to get that feeling down.
Yeah.
Right. And then we talked about earlier, then you want to gamify that feedback point so they can have fun learning that new growth mindset, that growth performance factor.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's, I completely agree. Find like the intent and make it fun and make it competitive in any way possible. And if nothing else, keeps them engaged, keeps them stimulated. It kind of takes some of the, the mundane edge off it a little bit. And, it works out better for everybody, really.
And you'll get good athletes that will just gamify it themselves.
Yeah.
I think back to me as a kid in the garage when I was 6 years old playing hockey. I'm trying to get 10 pucks to the top corner of the net.
Exactly.
Net.
Like we say that too.
Yep.
Hey man, we're saying the same damn thing. We're talking with athletes too, like, hey, it's like have micro objectives in the practice. Like you can't control the practice. You can't control playing time. Coaches make those decisions. They pick the drills you're going to do, but you can still have micro objectives for every drill. It's like, okay, if you're doing serve stuff, like, okay, can I serve, like hit that spot 2.5 every time or something like that? Like, can I hit, how many times can I hit this in a row?
Yeah.
How many balls can I dig from like two-step or whatever, like anything, just find some like micro objective and see how many you can do. Like it's gamifying it in your own way.
You got it. And next, you've put in 3 hours of court time and, in the garage and you've got better. Just setting that goal yourself and driving yourself to the next step to being great.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. I agree. It's a good mindset to have if you drive yourself.
Yeah. It's like that inner competitive spirit.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Yep. It's called setting standards too, right? Set a standard for yourself. right? And set a standard for each other on the team too.
Mm.
You know, I practiced the other day at open gym. There was one girl, and she was awesome. She was building people around her just through communication,
Yeah.
leadership, making people all around you better, right? So that's a great skill to have, you know.
Mm. This has been deep. This has been deep. Let's see this. Okay, I'll finish the heavy stuff here. What do you hope athletes remember about you 10 years after they're done playing?
Oh gosh.
Mindfulness, eh?
Well, you know, yeah, it's just I want them to learn the skills they can take off the court.
Mm.
Right. That's probably number one. I want them to be better people. And, you know, because volleyball is, for some people, it's just a U16 to U18 thing, or sorry, U13 to U18 is 5 years of your life.
Mm.
So if you can learn the skills on the court and transfer them off the court, that's huge.
Yeah.
Right. I like to think that I tried to build character in people. I like to think I gave them an opportunity to play and be grateful for that opportunity.
Yeah.
I try to say at the start of every practice, end of every practice, what are we grateful for?
Mm.
And that came from, I think the U.S. national coach at the workshop last week too. Actually, it was a Canadian guy, Glenn Hogue.
Mm.
Start practice and say, okay, what are we grateful for today, right now, before you even start this practice? Was something that we should be thankful for and move forward with that. And he was kind of set the tone for his practice, and he loved it too.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was just a boy this year at OC's. He came into my gym 4 years ago, and I started the club. So I just got cut from my high school team, and I want to play volleyball. And I was just starting out with my boys team, U14, and he was a good athlete and a good kid. And I said, okay, let's just work hard at getting better and giving you touches and helping you grow and train and learn the sport. And he did. And he had a different type of, sometimes he'd make mistakes and he'd smile and laugh.
Mm.
As a coach, I'm going to say, okay, is it just your reaction phase and you're nervous?
Yeah. It's
Or are
like a
you just
mechanism,
not-
yeah.
Are you not recovering from that point properly? And for him, I think he was a great kid. And I thought, okay, you need to learn how to recover, because you're not intentionally just laughing it off.
Mhm.
It's just your reaction phase of, oh, I'd made a mistake. Volleyball is one of the toughest sports. When you make mistakes, the whistle happens, everybody looks at you.
Yeah.
You know, George Thompson, an old coach of mine years ago, or he used to help me coach, he would say it's the toughest sport. Because basketball, you make a mistake, run back and start playing defense. Don't even think about it. Go.
Yeah.
In volleyball, you got the whistle happens, everybody looks at you. It's a tough sport. So between points, we got to see how these kids react. And he was a nervous reaction too, but we taught him how to recover different. He went on and played that year with me, and then he moved to Toronto, and then he made a club team in Toronto, which is a pretty big deal because competition in Toronto was big.
Massive, yeah.
He made a club team. He just finished his U18 this year, right? And then he, last day of OCs, we went back just to watch some teams, and there he was there. And I'm like, hey, Pierre, you're not even playing anymore. Like, what are you doing here till your team's kind of done? You're out. He goes, you just want to come back and watch volleyball. I love it. Want to be around it. Passion to play. He had an NAVC shirt on.
Nice.
And his mom had an NAVC shirt on too. And he's like, you started me. You started me in this game. And you gave me that opportunity to play and grow and train and love the sport. And I played it for 5 years, and I'm still love the sport. And you were the person that started me off in this. So it was kind of cool to see that come around. And I'm hoping other people see that, you know, with good intent and genuine interest in helping kids grow and love the sport and grow as good people. I'm kind of hoping that they see that in me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't please everybody all the time, but that's who I aim to be, and that's who I'm hoping I can be from day to day to day and in the future, and, you know, until I don't need more. But right now I'm loving what I do, you know?
Yeah.
So
All right. I'll wrap some things up with like lighter rapid fire rounds.
too deep.
Yeah. We're in the fields, man.
I
Like,
can tell you want a joke? I can tell you a joke.
tell me a joke. Man.
We were talking about the beauty of the internet a little while ago. And I guess, like you said, it's kind of cool to read different books, not just coaching books, philosophy books, joke books. So, I read this, and I think in the Reader's Digest years ago. Here's but it was a daughter, and I guess a daughter and her brother explaining to the mom that this internet's a beautiful thing. Ask it any question, it'll give you whatever answer you want. And the grandmother's, I don't know, 82 years old, and she says, "Oh, that's great." And I don't quite believe it or not, but what do you mean by ask it questions? And the daughter and the son says, "Hey, just ask it anything you want. It'll give you any information. I think this was an Ask Jeeves website.
I remember that. Jeeves?
So this is going way
I
back.
remember Ask Jeeves.
So the grandmother thinks about it for a minute, says, okay, I want to know how Aunt Helen is feeling. Just Aunt Helen's feeling, well, the internet's not going to answer that one. But, it's got its use, but maybe not full out use like in your sense of the mind.
Yeah.
But anyhow, yeah.
All right. Okay, rapid fire. What's the best volleyball position?
Best position?
Best position.
Setter.
Setter.
And I'll tell you why, though, because it's the mental leadership position on the court. You're the first kid out of the huddle figuring out the offense.
Yeah, you're the coordinator.
Kid out of the huddle. You are the coordinator behind it. However, because I love that training. There's so much more than there's touches, man. It's like, who am I attacking on the other side of the court? What type of set am I setting? Who am I setting? Who's my hot hitter? What offense do I want to run? There's so much mental training to being a setter. But the attacking people, they get a lot of glory, and that dig, you get a dig, man, that fires the team up like there's no tomorrow. So there's a beauty to every aspect, but from the mental perspective to it, I love the setter.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you have a favorite drill?
A game drill.
Yeah.
Any type of game drill where they're getting a lot of touches, having fun, cue reading, decision making, communicating. You ask these kids, and I'll do it open gyms now. We just finished running our month of open gyms, and I'll say to the kids, okay, we can do this or this or this. What do you want to do? And they're going games.
Yeah.
6-on-6, 4-on-4, 5-on-5 games. And there's a million games you can play with that.
Yeah.
You can handicap the games. One side has 5 points, the other side has 10. It's a race to 15. Let's go.
Yeah.
But kids just love to play. And you can learn a lot through just playing. The game does teach the game.
Yeah.
But as a coach, you got to direct that game in the way you want it to be so that they're growing and getting better and training, not just making the same mistake over and over. Right.
Yeah.
And I love that aspect of coaching too. Step back and watch and just see, hey, we'll play the game with, the 6-on-6, 5-on-5 game, but where can I help you grow as players at the same time?
Yeah.
Right. And they want to grow. They want to be that high performance kid. They want to get pushed, and they want to get better. And I love helping them be that.
Yeah. One word.
Yeah.
Most important coaching trait.
Care. You got to care for kids.
Hell yeah.
They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Bartholomew. Great job. Fucking awesome. Coffee or tea?
Oh, tea.
Tea?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've never been a coffee.
No?
Yeah. I'll go tea.
I like an espresso or something. A little red eye in there. A little red eye.
Yeah. Roxanne, my wife, drinks the coffee, and I do tea from time to time too. But
bro, we run through I think we finished at least 2 pots before 10 a.m. The boys are highly caffeinated at all times. Oh man. Favorite sport besides volleyball?
I love golf because it's the mental game too.
Yeah,
and it teaches you if things go wrong, take ownership, try to fix it. It's a life skill, right? Social, and it's a tough game to master. You got to put in the time to master it too.
Yeah.
Right. So I'd have to kind of say golf. Yeah. Right now would be my sport beside volleyball.
All right. What's your favorite TV show right now?
Oh gosh, you're going to laugh with the Weather Network.
The Weather.
That's how little I watch TV right now. If I got a minute of my time, I'm reading, I'm growing as a coach. I'm listening to a podcast. I'm reading a book.
You got to watch
talking to
Peaky Blinders, buddy. You got to watch Peaky Blinders. It's
I've
so
never heard
good.
of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Netflix, go watch Peaky Blinders.
But I'm catching up with the World Cup right now.
Yep.
And what I'll do is I'll watch a little bit of that, or at the end of the day, I'll put on YouTube and watch the highlights of the day kind of thing. So I kind of enjoy watching the sports more than a TV show and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's at night we're watching. Oh God, they have so much crappy reality TV now. It's and I have to watch that shit. I'm watching on what's Love Island or what Love Is, but they're all just. It's you just kind of your brains are scrambled and you're just leaking out your ears and you're watching this and you're just this can't be real life.
You're wonder.
Yeah, you're sitting there staring. You're I feel my IQ lowering as I watch this shit. And then you start to wonder, are kids watching this shit? Is this what they think? I'm oh hell, man! We're cooked.
Yeah,
we're cooked if this is what it is. What's the best piece of coaching advice that you've ever received?
Coaching advice I've ever received. Gosh, that's a tough one. It could be that care quote. Make sure you show the kids how you care. Man, I took that to heart and listened to that and heard that and go, you know what? They're right. And that's with education too, and the ESPN's touching on that right now. you got to have relationships with kids and the people, and that could really help them grow as learners. So probably that one. Make sure you know how much you care.
That's a good one.
The passion to play is a good one too. You want to have passion to play. Sometimes you love to keep score and have the scoreboard going, but sometimes you love that kid as a girl. My U16 team last year who sometimes forgot what the score is, and she just wants to play. You put that ball on the ground and I'm going for it. Whether the score is 10-2, it's the first drill of the day or the last drill of the day, I'm going for that ball. I'm sacrificing my body to get that ball in the air. So the passion of the opportunity to play is important too. So, yeah.
All right. I'll finish with this one. One thing you're excited about for the future.
The ability to work with kids, give back. The kid in my house league who's maybe only in grade 5, who's never touched a ball before, I get to teach her how to pass. Enough said right there. Love it.
Man, this has been fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
The opportunity's been great. I'm glad you called me up and said, let's do this. So,
yeah, it's been a blast.
Yeah.
Guys, if you want to know more about Niagara Athletics Volleyball Club, check out the website, check out their social media pages. I think Niagara Athletics on Instagram as well. And make sure you guys, if you have questions, get in touch, right? You heard it live from the man right here.
Yep.
So thank you all for tuning in to the Performance Matters podcast. Again, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, share your friends, because we love to rant and rave every week. And of course, you have some awesome guests. And sometimes we just have weekly revelations. You never know. We just chop it up. We talked about autumnal a few months ago. I don't even know why we started talking about autumnal, but we just talk about random stuff on the occasion. So make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And again, thank you all for tuning into Performance Matters podcast. Till next time.